Hello there! My name is Jason Jensai. Welcome to another episode of Star Wars Duels. This video is Ahsoka Tano vs Pong Krell. Star Wars Duels is a series where I analyze two Star Wars characters' tactics, mentality, and power, and explain what I think would happen if those two characters fight each other. The battlefield for this duel will be Mustafar. Based on the like to dislike ratio of my Ahsoka vs Canon video, it seems Ahsoka isn't a very popular character, so I don't know why I would do another video about Ahsoka, but I guess maybe some of you will like it. If you do like it, hit the like button. Thanks. Anyways, while watching, comment below. Who do you think would win between Krell and Ahsoka? What's a better story between the 501st on Umbara arc and Ahsoka leaving the Order arc? And if you were a Jedi, what would be unique about you? Although Krell was evil, he was still a Jedi, while Ahsoka is righteous but not a Jedi. In many ways, Krell and Ahsoka are opposites. The question is, which is more powerful? Pong Krell was a basilisk Jedi who turned to the dark side during the Clone Wars. Krell's turn was not fueled by passion and fear like Anakin's. Krell simply looked at both sides of the war and decided that he would rather serve the Separatists than the Republic. As a result, Krell betrayed the Republic. He came up with high casualty plans and constantly bullied the clones, tricked clones into attacking each other, and at the end, he took on the clones personally. As a basilisk, Krell is very strong and has 4 arms. In addition, Krell is surprisingly fast. He can throw clone troopers dozens of meters, he can deflect blaster fire from a dozen of the best clones in the 501st Legion and 212th Battalion who are surrounding him, and he can sneak up on 20 highly alert clone troopers. Krell uses a pair of dual-bladed lightsabers, one blue and one green. Krell's fighting style doesn't fit with any of the 7 forms of lightsaber combat, but it is similar to Form 1, Form 3, and Form 6. When shot at, he twirls all 4 blades around him to make an impenetrable shield. When there is an opening, Krell will lunge forward with surprising speed and slash apart his enemies the same way he deflects blaster fire. Krell is like a whirlwind of plasma. When he is shot at, blaster fire is easily deflected away by one of his 4 blades, and if he gets close to you, you will be cut in half by one of his many blades. In a lightsaber duel, most opponents would simply be overwhelmed by Krell's insane speed of attacks. Krell's powers do not stop with his lightsabers though. He is one of the best Jedi at using the Force during combat. In his confrontation with the 501st, the very first thing he does is a Force repulse. Krell's repulse temporarily stunned a dozen clones at once. Later, Krell force pushes another dozen clone troopers. Krell's force pushes and repulses are strong and extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, Krell can go from deflecting blaster fire to shoving over a ton of weapons, armor, and warriors to the ground. Krell's force powers are strong, but more notably, he frequently uses them in combat. Krell is an excellent strategist. Unlike a master strategist, Krell does not think several steps ahead, but he is very creative. When hunting the 501st, he taunted them from the shadows. They couldn't see him, and his voice seemed to be coming from everywhere. When Krell finally attacked, the clones were desperate to kill him out of fear and could not think clearly. Except for one. Tup easily lured Krell into a trap. The rest of the clones were running while Tup was standing firm and issuing a challenge on his own carefully selected ground. Krell rushed straight for him with no hesitation. He was surprised when a carnivorous plant suddenly attacked. Krell is a good strategist, but he is very susceptible to traps. If an enemy has revealed itself and he is free to attack, he will confidently swoop in and overwhelm them with either a force push or his 4 blades twirling around him, creating a deadly shield. Ahsoka Tano was a Togrutan Jedi. Ahsoka relies on her speed more than her strength. Ahsoka has battled Maul, the 501st, and even Darth Vader. Ahsoka uses 2 white-bladed lightsabers. Wielding 2 blades requires more coordination and focus, but gives the warrior more options. Krell is usually able to overwhelm his opponents just because he has 4 blades, but Ahsoka has 2 blades which gives her a defensive edge when fighting someone who tries to overwhelm with speed like Krell. Ahsoka demonstrated her incredible ability to deflect blaster fire when she was initially attacked by the 501st. Ahsoka was surrounded by half a dozen clone troopers and she managed to deflect all of their blaster fire while carving a hole in the ceiling to escape through. Ahsoka uses Form 4 of lightsaber combat. She uses her speed and flexibility to battle. Ahsoka uses her mobility to retreat safely, dodge attacks, and outflank her opponents and attack with more than just her lightsaber. Ahsoka will often use a force push to create space between her and her opponent. Not only does Ahsoka attack with two blades, but she also kicks and sometimes punches or grapples her opponents. Ahsoka might look weak, but she is strong enough to block Vader's attacks. Although Vader was clearly stronger, Ahsoka demonstrates that she is stronger than she looks. With the Force, Ahsoka is very strong. She was able to hold a flying ship back with the Force. That ship had enough power to escape the atmosphere, and Ahsoka was able to hold it back. But in that example, she put all her focus on the ship. For a more applicable demonstration, let's look at what she does with the Force in her lightsaber duels. In her duel with Vader, she uses a quick force push to knock him backward and throw off his balance. Although Vader doesn't fall over, Ahsoka was able to successfully push Darth Vader back several meters with a very quick force push. Ahsoka is fast and deadly. She uses her lightsabers, the Force, and even her arms and legs to overwhelm and defeat her enemies. Both Krell and Ahsoka overwhelm their enemies with several angles of attack. Krell uses two dual-bladed lightsabers and the Force, while Ahsoka uses two lightsabers, her Force powers, and herself. This is a battle of speed and skill. Who can attack faster while maintaining control and precision? Both have near equal feats when dealing with the 501st and their Force abilities in combat. When fighting the 501st, Krell is able to deal with a little bit more blaster fire, so he is probably a bit faster. But Ahsoka constantly deflected blaster fire back at her opponents, which demonstrates more skill and control. If you enjoyed the analysis, hit the like button to help out the channel so I can continue making content for you. And before I explain who I think would win, comment who you think would win. Let's begin. Krell is in the Separatist command room on Mustafar. He is studying a hologram from one of the two holoprojector tables in the room. Suddenly, the main door opens, and Ahsoka walks out of the hallway and into the command room. After a brief exchange where Ahsoka accuses Krell of being a traitor, and Krell decides he needs to kill her, Krell suddenly unleashes a powerful force push. Ahsoka flies backward into the wall, feet first. As Ahsoka launches off the wall and somersaults towards Krell, she ignites her lightsabers. Krell ignites his own lightsabers and begins twirling them around himself, creating a shield. Ahsoka slams into Krell with her lightsabers. Krell pushes back and Ahsoka flips away. Krell leaps forward and spins his lightsabers around like a pair of fiery helicopter blades. Ahsoka deflects and dodges the attacks as she retreats into the large conference room. Ahsoka jumps over Krell's blades and onto the table. As Krell readjusts, Ahsoka uses her high ground to kick Krell in the face. Krell steps back and twirls his lightsabers chaotically as Ahsoka attacks. Ahsoka twists Krell's green-bladed saber out of his hand, but Krell manages to grab her wrist. Before Ahsoka can escape, Krell grabs Ahsoka's other wrist, but Ahsoka pushes Krell backward with both her feet. Ahsoka hits the ground and rolls to her feet as she force-pulls her lightsaber back to her. Krell staggers back and pulls his dropped lightsaber to himself with the Force. As she charges, Ahsoka force-pushes Krell into the side of the doorway to the control room. Krell's back slams into the wall, but he lands on his feet. Ahsoka attacks. This time, she attacks with two quick slashes low. Krell blocks both with one blade as he attacks with the other, but Ahsoka dodges to the side and swings at the back of Krell's shoulders. Krell twirls his green saber around to intercept Ahsoka's attack while turning towards Ahsoka and stabbing with his blue saber. Ahsoka dances to the other side and attacks Krell's other side again. Krell spins his blue saber to defend himself as he attacks with his green saber and retreats to the doorway. The sides of the doorway prevent Ahsoka from outflanking Krell, so she knocks him back with a force push. Ahsoka charges again. Krell twirls his sabers around and tries to use his superior strength to push Ahsoka back into the conference room. But Ahsoka's superior speed allows her to guide Krell away from the doorway. With the hollow projector tables in a mostly open space, Ahsoka puts Krell on the defensive. Ahsoka continues to outflank Krell, attacking him from the left, right, head-on, and even from above. Krell retreats toward another doorway. Krell opens the door and steps onto an outside walkway that provides a view of the massive lava lake and the anti-gravity generators that hold the base up. Ahsoka does not follow her, but Krell force pulls her towards him as he attacks with his blue blade. Ahsoka barely avoids the attack as she rolls past him. Krell attacks. Finally, Krell does not have a terrain disadvantage and can attack effectively, but Ahsoka continues to keep up with him. Ahsoka and Krell go toe-to-toe for a while. Suddenly, Krell tries to force push Ahsoka over the edge, but she catches onto the railing with one hand. But Ahsoka had to drop one of her lightsabers to catch onto the railing. Krell rushes forward to finish her off, but she attacks without hesitation. As she slashes with one blade, she force pulls the other and kicks Krell in the chest. Krell, who is surprised by her bold attack, is pushed back into the control room, but Ahsoka's blindingly fast onslaught does not stop. Ahsoka pushes Krell toward the main exit, where she came in. The exit has a very short hallway that barely has room for one person of Krell's size. Before Krell can try anything, Ahsoka force pushes him into the hallway. Krell's style of twirling his blades around like crazy is suddenly completely ineffective due to the cramped space. Krell deignites his second blades on both his sabers and tries his best to fight back, but Ahsoka knocks his blades outward and knocks Krell's blue-bladed saber out of his hand with her elbow. Krell grabs at Ahsoka, but she steps back and ducks as she slashes Krell's lightsaber in half. Krell leaps forward and uses his superior strength to shove Ahsoka backward before retreating toward the outdoor walkway. Ahsoka follows him and catches up just as Krell makes it outside. Krell turns and faces Ahsoka. Krell spins his dual blades around, desperately trying to keep up with Ahsoka's fierce attacks. Ahsoka feints low before kicking Krell's saber to the side. Before Krell can recover, Ahsoka stabs him in the thigh and slices his lightsaber in half. Krell desperately launches himself at Ahsoka, but Ahsoka elbows him in the face, spins around, and stabs Krell through the stomach. Krell is fast and powerful, but Ahsoka's battlefield experience gave her the skill to defeat Krell. So with that, thanks so much for listening to what I had to say about Ahsoka Tano versus Pong Krell. If you enjoyed the video, consider taking a second to hit the like button and the subscribe button. If you want to, check out all my Star Wars duels through the playlist in the description or the end screen. And don't forget to comment any criticisms, congratulations, or questions you have about the video. May the Force be with you, always.